Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. We're going to be doing a review on the new Tier 4 destroyer from France. Before I do that though, I do need to ask that you help me help you. And what I mean by that is when you hit the like button and you hit that subscribe button, it tells me that the information I am providing is beneficial or helpful in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I mean by help me help you. Because I'll keep putting that information out, hoping that it helps you. So without further ado, let's jump into this review. We're going to start off with some gameplay. That way at the end you'll understand why I make the commander and ship setup recommendations I do. So right off the bat we come up against the tech tree counterpart for this particular ship. And luckily Jaguar is fixated on our teammates, so we're getting shots off, we're going to get our torpedoes off. First blood, devastating strike, and back to port he goes. At the end of that engagement, I could have ducked behind these two islands, but I really wouldn't have been able to see the enemy. So me coming out to this other side, I'm able to keep the enemy spotted for my sake and to help my team. So you can see I'm going to focus on the front runner. He's right at my detection line. I want to get him gone. The torpedoes on this boat are actually decent torpedoes. They pack a decent punch. As you can see, 2 torpedoes, and he's gone. Now, coming out, I burn my gun reload just because I saw a sliver of health. I wanted to make sure that he was gone and off the board, and I really should have just held on to that. So this does bring a good point. Because you only have 1 gun reload, make sure you use it wisely. So New York is focusing on, if you look at the mini map, our cruiser is going to be coming across the center of the map, still pushing that right flank with everybody else. And luckily his guns are pointed that way. The carrier is not worried about me because he's got the entire right flank pushing his side anyways, because if he would have kept me perma-spotted, New York could have took me out. And that brings a good point. Because this ship does not have smoke, you do have to worry about being in low tier. You're going to run a lot more, especially tier 4. You're going to run into a lot more of tier 3 and tier 5 carriers, which can perma-spot you. The AA on this is horrible, and I'll show you those stats afterwards. So you really do have to worry about getting perma-spotted. Luckily for us, New York, his guns were not facing, so I just decided to bum rush him. I want to go ahead and get him out, because if I kept shooting at him from afar, I could have missed. So the secondaries on New York are not bad at all. Dump my salvo. Bam. Devastating strike, high caliber, and back to port he goes. So going for the Omaha, that was really just an educated guess. I knew right around where he was coming. Dump them kind of close together, but trying to spread it to where it's not leaving too much of a gap for him. And as you can see, he's going to try to turn. He's got a good rudder shift, as you can see, but we still clip him with 1. This would have been the ideal moment for my gun reload, and that's why I said make sure you use it at the right time. Nevertheless, we're still getting some shots. We're chipping away. Bam. We got the Kraken. Now let's get into the commander and ship setup. Let's start with the stats for the ship itself. You only have 1 upgrade option. I went aiming system. So this way I can get a dispersion buff to my main battery. The other buff of torpedo launcher traverse speed is just an added bonus. I would not go AA mod because you don't have much of an AA system on this ship. I would not go main battery mod. Yes, it would help the traverse speed, but you're going to take a 5% hit on your main battery reload. Survivability, you're 11,900 hit points. Artillery, you got 430mm guns with an 8-second reload. Your maximum HE damage, you're looking at 1971, while your maximum AP damage is 2300. Torpedoes, you have 2 3s. 550 millimeter, 75-second reload, maximum damage is 16,000. Your range is 7 kilometers with a 62 knot speed. This is what I meant by you don't have much of an AA system on the ship, so sticking close to your allies or islands, anything to try to alleviate squadrons hovering over you is going to be key. Maneuverability, you're at 35.3 knots with 3-second rudder shift, which is a pretty good rudder shift. Concealment, you're at 4.9 kilometer. So the reason why the detection is so low is because I am running a double concealment build. So Bay and Swirsky are both at 16.3. Now his base trait for this commander is HE damage. I went contact is imminent instead of subsurface venture because I did not want to take a hit to my main battery reload. I went look at me now. I went perceptive. This way I can still locate the nearest ship. Plus I get a bump in my torpedo detectability as well as incoming fire damage. I went survivability, because there's no point in running smoke on the water because you don't have any. I went unstoppable. So you do have another option as far as commanders for this ship. You have this gentleman, which, looking at his traits, I would probably use him. I just didn't have him at a higher level, so that's why I went with the other commander. But his base trait, you can disappear a lot faster when firing those guns. And that is going to work a lot better because you don't have smoke. So same thing, contact is imminent, look at me now, perceptive, and this is where the two commanders is going to differ as well. You could run speed on the other one, while here it's going to be sidestep. The range of your guns is going to increase, but you get a bump in that incoming fire dispersion. You are going to take a hit in the rudder shift, but with a 3-second rudder shift, you're not looking at much of a difference. Now, hypothetically, you don't have Swirsky. You do have Bay. Who should you use as a second inspiration? I would go Madden. This way, the traverse speed and the reload for those guns is really going to bring it out a lot better. And the reason why I say that is if you compare it to the tech tree counterpart, you have less hit points, you have one less gun with a longer reload. Your torpedoes are doing less damage, but yes, you do have a lower reload time. No point talking about AA, maneuverability, you're slower. And your concealment is better. Well, that's all the information I have for statistics. As far as personal suggestion, the tech tree counterpart is going to be a better gunboat. So this, I would probably stick more with speed and torpedoes and detectability. I hope that the information that I provided you is going to help you set the ship up to best suit you and your playstyle. Please don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, stay frosty out there.